Doing business in Africa. You can't afford to be without Africa Investor.
So we're now in the panel where we're going to hear some private sector and investor perspectives on facilitating institutional investor public partnerships for NDC projects. I don't think there's any need to set this into any different sort of context other than what we probably heard in the first panel. The spirit of partnership was defined. The willingness was defined. I'm sorry. Okay. Was I being recorded? The spirit of partnership was defined. The willingness was defined. And I think it's now about the mechanism. If there was a mechanism that was delivering private capital mobilization up to the 24th of September 2024 that was successful, then why hasn't the private capital been mobilized? It means we're going to have to think about something from the 25th of September going forward that is going to be capable of reaching even higher heights and ambitions. And I think the issue is not about the money. The issue is about the willingness to think about doing things differently to pursue the prospect of getting a different outcome. So that's exactly what colleagues on this panel are going to take us through. And let me just tell you who they are. Again, elite and distinguished, investors and investment experts, and the NDC partnership, who we're very pleased to partner with on this panel by their esteemed leader, Pablo. I have to say I have an observation about Pablo, and I have an observation about the NDC partnership. When we started working with them about 3 years ago, I thought to myself, well, let's have one engagement because clearly there's a different mindset there. I've been completely overwhelmed with their vision, their commitment to working with the private sector, their commitment to taking on board new ideas and new approaches. So please join me in giving NDCP Partnership a round of applause. That's the type of leadership that excites us, Pablo, and we are very enthusiastic about how you can take this into the next review and round of the NDCs that will be deposited in 2025. So I really just introduced Pablo Vieira, who's the Global Director of the NDCP Partnership. I'm now also going to call on another leader, which is Dr. Sharon Fitzgerald, as a partner at DLA Piper and a member of the Sustainable Markets Initiative Council and the Legal Services Hub. I'm going to call on another good friend and leader, Marc-Andre Blanchard, one of the largest infrastructure investors globally, who is the Executive Vice President and the head of CDPQ Global and the Global Head of Sustainability. We can clap. We're at that stage now where it's the home run. I'm sure we're going to get back into this. Catherine Cax, who is the Managing Director of the Soros Economic Development Fund. And you'll hear from Catherine. I think you should clap a bit louder. She's just launched a $400 million fund for climate in Africa. So there we go. And then we have Fredrik Nydstrom, who is the Head of Sustainability and Governance at AP3, which is essentially the third Swedish pension fund. You're welcome, Fredrik. And a member of the Institutional Investor Group on climate change's work on emerging markets in Africa.
Doing business in Africa. You can't afford to be without Africa Investor.